You know, it's funny how something as small as a shake attack can end up feeling like a whole metaphor for life. We shake, we rattle, sometimes everything inside us gets stirred up. Today's Dephemerember prompt is shake attack and moon dust, and we are absolutely leaning into that. So if you're crafting along, get cozy, let's gently shake things up together. Alright, lovely friends, welcome back to Diary of a Creative Therapist. Here we are, day 16 of Dephemerember, and this is my page for today. My shaker tag can go here into my side tag, and I would like to have it matching by using little bits from my December Junk Journal Planner Kit. Then of course silver sparkle and this silver paper. And my plan is to use this die cut here to cut some rectangles from this paper. Not sure if I only use the silver one or if I back it up with this lined large tag. It's a little bit bigger, so I enlarged it for my printing. You can do this. Okay, so all three I would like to cut in one go. And here is my die cutting machine. So there's something fantastic I find about a die cutting machine, that we can just place it here on top, just the die cut on top, and then the second layer of the plastic sheet just on top. Let me put it in the right place here, just on top. And then it goes just through. I go through it back and forth, and the pressure, the sound, the slide resistant, I find this is such a satisfying feeling. And while I'm running these papers through, I'm thinking about how being shaken doesn't always come from dramatic moments. Sometimes it's the quieter things. A small change in routine, a conversation that sits strangely in the chest. A moment of self-awareness that feels both tender and uncomfortable. I think we don't talk enough about those small emotional earthquakes, but they matter. They stir things inside us. They loosen what has been tied for too long. Just like these frames, everything gets rearranged a little bit. Let's have a look. It cuts through, it looks like through all three papers at once. That is really, really, really nice. Sometimes I find it, you really have to go back and forth to get it through three layers at once. But here we are. And the rectangles from the middle, of course, they will go into my stash for a later project. But for now, let's have a look what I would like to do. Let's see this at the front, and then the brown coffee dyed stripy one in the back. Little bit of journaling space on the top, or just the two silver ones. No, I think I like the combination. I like the combination, definitely. Okay, all right. I'm using this as my backing, and I will add now the clear plastic bag right on the top. So I'm just gluing the edges down for now, and this step makes me think about containment. Not the rigid kind, not suppressing feelings, but the gentle, supportive kind that let things move inside without spilling everywhere. A shaker tag works because something holds it just enough. Not too tightly, not too loosely, just right. And how often in therapy I see that the safest emotional containers are not rigid rules, but flexible ones. A sense of, I can feel this and I won't fall apart. A sense of, I can shake a bit and I'm still held. So I'm pressing this plastic down I'm thinking about the containers in my own life that help me stay grounded when things get a little wobbly. And now I'm adding this swirly silver frame on top, sandwiching the plastic bag between the two layers. There's something really beautiful about this already, I find. It's like looking through a tiny free space on a frosty window. And it reminds me of how we often try to look at ourselves during difficult times, but sometimes it feels like we have to look through layers that are a little bit obscured or a bit blurry. And we are not always sure what's inside, but still something sparkles. The moon dust is already there. We just haven't added the literal sparkles yet. And so I press everything down, try to adjust it, try to make sure it is glued tightly. What a beautiful start. Okay, fussy cutting time. This is the part where I always come to really drop into myself. I am in the zone. No thinking, just cutting. My scissors follow the line. They just know what to do. It is like coming home a little bit for me. Just step by step. So now I'm trimming around the edges, turning the rectangle here into a tag by snipping off the top corners with my little sample size here, so that both corners are the same. Just like that. Snip, snip. Okay. Wow. Oh no! I have cut off part of the plastic bag, which means I no longer have a functioning pocket. Honestly, this is exactly what mental health feels like some days. You think you have done everything right and then whoops, small miscalculation and suddenly everything is wide open and the sparkles are trying to escape. But the good thing about crafting and about human beings is that we can always improvise. Alright, double-sided tape to the rescue. Just sealing the edges again so we can actually put moon dust inside without decorating the entire room unintentionally. This feels like boundary work, gently resealing the places where things leaked a bit. No shame, no drama, just, okay, let's adjust a bit. Sometimes the most healing thing we can do is simply repair without self-blame. There, sealed again, ready for sparkles. And here we go, the moment we all either love or fear. Adding glitter, silver moon dust going in. And I have to be really careful, otherwise the silver moon dust goes everywhere. And as I sprinkle this in, I'm thinking about all the small luminous things inside us that become visible often in tough moments. Courage, tenderness, insight, hope that we didn't expect to find. Sometimes the shaking reveals what has been inside us all along. And sometimes we can add a little surprise that only people who are really curious and take the time to look carefully will ever discover. And yes, the sparkles are already on my fingers and on my table. I think that's an occupational hazard. I'm closing the top with more of the double-sided tape to make sure all the moon dust really stays inside. And now I go off camera to stitch around the tag. And here it is. I went through all of it twice. Black thread, intentionally a little wonky. I honestly love how imperfect stitching looks. It gives the whole thing personality, I find. It says, I've been through something and I'm still holding together. And now that I turn the tag over, I actually like the back side more than the front. So guess what? This is now the front. Permission to change your mind halfway through is a wonderful creative principle. And a wonderful emotional one too, I find. Let's punch the eyelet now. There's something almost poetic about placing a metal eyelet into a tag filled with moon dust. It's the mix of heaviness and lightness, the grounded and the luminous, the practical and the mysterious. And honestly, it feels very much like the emotional work I witness in the therapy room very often. So many people come in feeling full of shimmer and overwhelm at the same time. A bit shaken up inside, unsure what their moon dust even is anymore or whether it still shines. And then at some point, often unexpectedly, there's this small anchoring moment. A sentence they say out loud for the first time. A truth they admit quietly. A breath that lands differently. It's not a dramatic breakthrough, it's more like an internal version of this eyelet. A tiny place where things can settle when something can hold. A place to metaphorically thread the string through. And speaking of string, I'll add that now. There's something wonderfully grounding about this too. Rough, natural, uncomplicated. It bridges the metal eyelet and the shimmering moon dust like a simple truth running through complexity. And speaking of moon dust, I have this stamp, and so I would like to stamp the word moon dust on this tab. For me, it nearly looks a little bit like a specimen card, as if somebody went on an expedition, got some moon dust, and now captured it on this little tag here. So, let's see. I hope it gives me a clean stamp, but then on the other hand, if it's not a clean stamp, it's what it is. What it is. Let's have a look. Oh no, that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, let's see what else we can do here. I have some of the leftover little labels from a previous compartmental making session. So I like to add this one here to give it even more this feeling of a specimen card. This one, for example, says 12th December 1973. So as if it has been collected at that time. Let's have a look. I love when old project becomes part of new ones. It feels like an emotional collage of my own creative life, I find. And here on the bottom, this one is called, or this has written on it, certified. This is certified moon dust. It's funny. This little tag ends up holding so much symbolism. The shimmer of what's possible, the anchor that keeps it from floating away, and the thread that connects the two. A reminder that even when life shakes us, even when everything inside feels scattered or stirred up, we still get to be both things. Light and anchored, soft and strong, shaken and still luminous. And here we are, our little shaker tag, tucked in nicely on the page, filled with silver moon dust, held together with wonky stitching, soft around the edges, a little shaken but absolutely luminous. And maybe that's the message for today, that movement inside us is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of life, a sign that something is shifting, shimmering, reorganizing itself. Shaking does not stop us from shining. If anything, it helps the light move through. Thank you for creating with me today. Thank you for being here for another gentle Dephemerember moment. And I see you again tomorrow for whatever small magic the next prompt brings. I wish you a wonderful, shiny day, and bye for now.